Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. I'm trying to think what this was going to be. Yeah, it's a reading vlog. So I've taken part in Winterween. Please excuse the hair. I washed my hair last night. I was in the middle of drying it and the hairdryer was making some very iffy noises. I was scared it was going to blow up next to my head. So I need to go and get a new hairdryer tonight. That's on the agenda. So, right. What was I saying actually? Oh yeah, so I'm taking part in Winterween. So I thought I would show you the 4 books that I've got. This Winterween is running from today, which is the 5th of, what are we on, in January. God, this is a good start, isn't it? 5th of January up until the 11th of January, so 7 days. And I'm really excited for it. I really am. So let me show you the books. So for the prompt for a purple cover, I've gone for Belladonna by Adelaine Grace. I reckon it's going to be, possibly is there like a house itself that's a bit odd. I mean, it's saying about the Thorngrove in a state both glittering and gloomy. And there's also Restless Spirit as well in this, and I reckon I'm just going to have a good time with it. Yeah, I reckon so. There's Silent Waters by Alvy Matthews, which is for the prompt with W in it. And this one is probably a bit more of a thriller that's kind of like a claustrophobic thriller. And there's like secrets, a bit of a drama going on between 2 families, I think. And it just say a murky tale of tainted love and betrayal. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be a bit of a thriller. Then we had a prompt which is with a witch on the cover. This has the word witches, I'm going with it. So this is The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. This is set in 1880 in Manhattan. With 2 witches opening up a tea shop, and someone that comes along to help them out in this tea shop has some strange occurrences happening to her and something odd about her. So another one I'm looking forward to. This one's a bit chunky. And then lastly we've got for the prompt with like snow or ice on the cover, I'm going for Ninth Grade because I'm pretty certain there's snow all over it. And this is set in Stockholm in the grips of winter as it's freezing over. So very icy, snowy, perfect. And this was a bit of like 2 killers out and about trying to be found, so, and stopped before they kill some more. So yeah, basically, all in all, 4 books that I think are perfect for, oh god, I can't pick them up, for Winterween. There we have it. Have I got them upside down? No, it's just my interpretation of it through the camera lens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all 4 of these, and I'm looking forward to taking part in Winterween. We are still decorating the lounge and dining room at the moment, so I do have to do that this weekend. So we're on Friday at the moment. I do plan to read plenty today. I'm not actually 100% sure how much I would definitely get read Saturday and Sunday. We shall see. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to start this morning with Belladonna. This is a book that I have been wanting to read for a long time. And it was everywhere when it came out. The sequel has now come out and I still haven't read this first one. So yeah, I'm going to get to reading it. Like it's gonna be, I don't know, I've heard such good things about this. It's a romantic, gothic infused world of wealth, desire and betrayal. And I do love a bit of gothic stuff going on in my novels as well. So, oh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to get started with this first thing this morning. It's still pretty, it's only just getting light out. This is why the light is so terrible, because we have lights that take me about an hour to properly show anything in the rooms upstairs, purely because I quite like having dim lighting, but it's not good for filming. So yeah, it's got like a bit of a romance in here as well. Yeah, just so excited for it. So let's get on with it, shall we? We are going to start off our Winterween readathon with Belladonna. Hello, so I'm only about 35 pages into Belladonna, and I just wanted to say I am predicting 5 stars with this one. I think it's going to be a 5-star read. I'm absolutely loving it, and the writing is absolutely stunning, and there's just something very intriguing about it. So we've basically just met Signa, and she has been orphaned, and each of the family members that take her on as being her guardian, they all end up basically dying, and there's like death surrounding her, and she's able to see death as well, and there's just, you know, something about it that's just such a unique premise that I'm very intrigued. So yeah, I'm only 35 pages in. She's about to go to a new relative's house, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this is going to go, because yeah, it's just the sort of book that I was expecting to be going down this route. I did briefly read the synopsis, but I don't think I took it on board quite so much. But yeah, I think it's absolutely superb so far. So yeah, I do have to head into the office now, so I'm working from the office today. So I'm going to head in, do all my bits and pieces, and I'm going to be reading today whilst I have my phone on. So hopefully I get quite far into this today. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, and I just wanted to come on and give you a very quick update. Hello, okay, so I'm here with a little update on Belladonna. So, what page am I at? Page 180. So I'm nearly halfway through the book. It's now coming up to 5 o'clock. It has actually been quite busy doing stuff today in the office. So I haven't been reading as much as I would have liked, but I only started it this morning. So 180 pages isn't bad, but obviously I got my phone on anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to give like an update. I did give like a brief one when I was in like 30 pages in this morning before I left for the office. So this book is absolutely superb. I'm absolutely loving it. So obviously we're following Signa Farrow, who was orphaned as a child, and each of her relatives that she stays with ends up dying, and I think I explained this earlier actually. So now, yeah, when I updated it earlier, it just got to the point where she got to the Hawthorne's house, what's it called? Thorn Grove. And yeah, I'm loving this. So basically she can see ghosts, and they can talk to her and interact with her, and that's kind of terrifying in itself. But then on top of that, she's also got a connection to death itself, and in this book, death is its own character. And he's actually quite sarcastic and funny. Like some of the little, like the one-liners that he comes out with is actually quite amusing. So it's weird to have death with its own character, and I think it's quite a unique concept and all of that. So yeah, it does say on here about a romance in this book, and we are starting to see that play out, and I'm all for it. I'm, you know, all for this particular couple to have a romance, so that's exciting as well. Everything about this book is actually just really good. Like, I love the descriptions, I love the writing, I'm liking the characters, I'm loving the setting. I absolutely love all the descriptions about the house and, you know, where they are, all of that. I'm loving it. So I'm guessing that this could possibly well be a 5-star read, which, you know, would be superb to have the first 5-star read of the year so soon. We're on the 5th of January, so yeah, I'm really excited for it. So I thought I'd just give a little update. Okay, so it's probably like a little bit of a glitch. Phone started ringing. So yeah, I've given an update on this. Also, I wanted to just let you know like the plans. So I'm heading straight to the shop after work because I have to get cat food. So also a curry sauce to go with our dinner because I was going to be making a curry sauce. Basically, it all went wrong. And so I'm just going to buy a jar of curry sauce because, yeah, it's easier. It's Friday and you know how it is. But so yeah, we're having a curry tonight for dinner. We're going to watch a film and it's all about getting into bed as pretty much as soon as we get home. We have both been really ill all week. So on top of that, we are renovating our lounge and dining room, and Paul has had to be painting in the lounge every evening this week, whilst I've been doing other stuff around the house and getting other stuff sorted. So we literally have been not stopping this week, even though we've both been ill, and the same as between Christmas and New Year. So it's, yeah, tonight is about getting into bed early, just watching a film and basically taking it easy, because I don't know if you could probably tell, but I probably sound really annoying and really weird, but I'm very congested at the moment and I'm very, yeah, not well. But hopefully we can have an early night because tomorrow we are picking up the slate for our fireplace. We have to get some more paint. We have to do a bit more painting because we now have to do another coat, which is quite annoying. Oh, my hair's annoying as well. So yeah, this weekend is a DIY weekend, which is why I'm not 100% sure exactly how much reading I'm going to get done. But I am going to continue reading now for the next 45 minutes or so. And then I am obviously finishing at 6, so about an hour. I'll finish work, and yeah, so hopefully this evening is going to be a chilled one, but we have got a hectic weekend and I'm a bit concerned that we're just not going to get better the more that we're doing. So yeah, it's a bit, I'm more concerned obviously about Paul because he has like a full-on job, like day to day. So Monday to Friday he's got a job where he, like, quite a physical job, and then each evening he's doing physical stuff as well with the like DIY, and so I think that's probably why he's quite ill. And then I ended up catching it thinking I would be absolutely fine, and that was not the case. So yeah, I don't know, there's a part of me that just wants this weekend to be chilled, but I know it's not going to happen. We haven't had a chill day at all for a long time, so yeah, hopefully by the end of January we should have that room pretty much done, and then I think we're taking a bit of a break from doing all of the DIY because it's been a bit too much. So reading wise, I've got 4 books on this TBR for Winterween. I know it's not realistic because obviously, like I said, there's not going to be much reading done this weekend, so it allows 4 days next week really, and I'm only halfway through the first one. So we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure I can do at least two, so we'll see how it goes. But it's a bit of a hectic one. It is, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to carry on reading for a little bit, and then I have to do the end of day stuff here, and then I will be heading home. Thank God it's Friday. Hello, so I'm on here with a reading update because I have just finished Readathon, which is the first book for this readathon for Winterween. So my thoughts on this. In my last update, which would have been on Friday, so we're now on Sunday, on Friday I finished it with saying that a romance has started and I was all for it. That romance was not the romance. I was tricked, basically. The romance happened a bit after that with someone else, and let me just say it makes for uncomfortable reading. Okay, so this is meant to be a YA. With that, I don't know, with that kind of romance, I kind of feel like it's probably not that appropriate for a YA, and I'm quite shocked that it is referred to as YA. I would have thought it was more adult. I don't know, there's just something very icky about that romance. So with this whole book we follow Signa, and her character is amazing, and we kind of see her as she kind of accepts the fact that she has these powers, and she's able to see ghosts, and she's able to communicate with ghosts, and she's even able to communicate with death herself, and yet she never dies. And even though she takes belladonna, she doesn't die, and it seems like death is always there and like helping her. And then obviously death is a character in itself, and you start off like, I really enjoyed this character and I thought it was a really good character, and I don't know, there was like some funny moments from him, and I started to really like this character until this little relationship sort of weird things started happening, and I was like, no. Bear in mind, Death had first visited Signa when she was 2 months old as a baby, and has basically been like cropping up throughout her life. And then when she's 19, it starts saying things to her like he's always been waiting around for her, and there's just some very odd terms that he uses, and just it's all a bit odd, and it kind of just made me feel a bit icky. So that's definitely not a plus with this book. I would definitely check trigger warnings on this, because I'm pretty sure this must be a trigger with this book, because it's almost like a grooming type of thing. It's really weird, and I don't know whether the author was meant to be doing this and knew what she was doing, or whether it's just comes across that way and that wasn't really their intention. I don't know, but it is a bit odd. Now, you know, there's a lot of good things about this book that I absolutely love. I love the fact that it's very much like a fantasy and a mystery with some paranormal and gothic elements to it. I absolutely love it. I love the setting, and I loved the writing. The writing is phenomenal, and I liked all the characters. So there was so much that I absolutely love about this book, and I think I will continue to read the second book. I'm hoping, I don't know whether I will. I don't know, this did end on a bit of a cliffhanger. This did, you know, which it was meant to, because we all knew this was going to be part of a series. But yeah, I don't know, I will have a think about whether I'm going to continue the series and read the second book, which is Foxglove. I shall decide on that. But yeah, the whole premise behind it, where Signa ends up at the Hawthorne family's house, which is, was it Thorngrave? Yeah, Thorngrave. She ends up here because all of her other relatives have died, because obviously Death has been visiting her and taking away her family and all of this. And so yeah, she's with the Hawthorns. Obviously we know that Blythe is really ill. We find out that the mother has passed away, and then it's the mother that basically comes to Signa and is like, I've been poisoned, so please, you know, help find who did this. Now, the twists at the end of the book, I didn't see coming, and I think they were done really well. And with both who did the killing, and also there is like a twist as well between some characters, which I won't say anything about because I think you need to read the book on that. See, I do think the ending was done really well to make you want to read the next book. So maybe I will. But yeah, I kind of think overall there's so much that you can love with this book. You can love the writing and everything about the setting, and the fact all like the gothic elements to this book is absolutely superb. So yeah, the only thing that just really gave me the ick and means I can't give this book 5 stars is this sort of relationship that kind of starts developing. And so for that, I'm going to give it 4 stars. I mean, if I like thought about it more, I think it would probably make the star rating less, because yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, ew. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. I've had a quick look on Goodreads afterwards to see if anyone else like thought that as well, and there are other people on there that have said the same thing, that it's just it's very odd. So just bear that in mind if you're going into this book. It's not great, but I do think it is a good read in a way. I really do. I do think, you know, there is something about it. Like, I think mainly because the writing is absolutely stunning, and I am very much into the whole gothic element with books at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this with a 4-star read. Giving it 4 stars. I'm gonna fill in my reading journal now. Later on we are going to Paul's parents for dinner, and I want to try and see if I can make a start at any point on my next book, which I haven't decided which one it's going to be yet, but it would be good to make a start on that as well, because yeah, we're now on, how many days in are we? Like 3 days in. So we're on Sunday and we've only got until Thursday to finish all 4 books, which I know is a bit optimistic, but it's possibly doable. But yeah, we shall see. I just wanted to come on and give a reading update now that I have finished this. Hello, I'm on here to give a little reading update on Silent Waters by Albie Matthews. So we're now on Monday. I was hoping to be further along. I'm on page 109, and I was definitely hoping to be a lot further than that by the end of the day. But my plans for this evening may have changed, because usually every Monday I go to my parents' house for dinner, and they live about 35-40 minutes away. And because it's winter and it gets dark by the time I've finished work, I have been driving at the route with all the streetlights kind of thing. But today it has been icy, and there has been a little bit of snow. Nothing that's settling, it's not settling or anything like that, but it's freezing cold, and it seems that it's very icy everywhere. So I don't think I'll be going to my parents, because as much as I hate to admit this, I am a rubbish driver when it comes to winter, and when it's been, you know, icy, everything like that. I hate it. I hate driving at night anyway, and to throw in ice and all of that into the mix, it's just a big no-no for me. I hate it. I'm a confident driver usually, and like during the day, and I drive a car which is classed as a bit of like the chav car, and I do drive, you know, a bit of a loony when it's the dual carriageways and motorways. So, you know, I'm usually a really confident driver, but then as soon as it gets to night driving, I hate it because of all the lights coming towards you. And then when it gets to winter, I just get put on edge. I really do. I'm like, I hate it. So If it's a case that I'm not going to my parents this evening, then I will have more time to read, because I'm gonna basically sit in the library with, you know, hot tea, cups of tea, hot water bottles, just wrap up nice and warm because it is freezing here at the moment, and read some more this evening. So I don't know yet what the plans are going to be, because obviously if it's completely stopped snowing and if it's, you know, an okay temperature where there isn't ice everywhere, then yeah, it will be okay to drive over there. We shall see. We will know in about 2 hours time when I finish work at 6. But let's give an update for this. Okay, so although I haven't got as far as I would have liked, I have gone past the 100-page mark. So with this, we're following Jen, and she is a police diver. Now, I love the fact that we are getting the perspective of a police diver, because usually in thrillers or like detective, crime fiction, that sort of thing, it's always like the point of view of the detective or something like that. And it's quite a unique concept to have it from the police diver, because we don't really see any of that, and also in real life we don't really see much from like the police divers. Obviously there was that case back in the summer, that horrendous case with that woman who went missing whilst walking her dog by the river, and I think that kind of was everywhere in the news, and I think everyone kind of saw, you know, what police divers do, and then they obviously got like other diving people in to search as well. But other than that, it's not really something that's ever in the news. We don't really see that side of things. So it's good to see like that perspective in this book, because it is unique. We don't see that elsewhere. And I've never read a book that is from the perspective of a police diver either. So I love that. I love the concept behind it. I love the fact that we are searching for someone who has gone missing that Jen has known in the past. And I'm talking like years ago they had some sort of connection, and they have been estranged for these years and not been in touch, and now she's trying to solve what has happened to Claudia, who is the woman who is missing. So I mean, there's some good in there, that, you know, it's kind of like a new and unique concept. However, I'm struggling with this book a little bit. Okay, so firstly, the writing is a bit, I don't know whether I'm gelling with the writing. It's not the best. It's not bad, but it's not the best. Usually when you have a thriller, it's, you know, quick paced. You're constantly wanting to read. It's short chapters. There's lots of cliffhangers and twists going through, so you want to carry on reading. You want to find out all this stuff. And this is kind of a bit slow paced, in my opinion. It's, you know, quite different to your normal average thriller, because it is quite slow paced. And also there's some things that are happening which I just don't understand why the authors decided to do that. So we have a lot of secrets, and I kind of feel like there's more secrets between families in this book, which is kind of making it more of like a family saga, more of a bit of a drama type of thing, more so than a thriller as well. So there is that, which I'm trying to get my head around, because we basically have Jen, her brother Bill, and then we have Claudia and her husband Mark. So Claudia is the one that's missing, Jen is the police diver, and for some reason she hasn't told her boss that she knows who Claudia is, which obviously, you know, that's a conflict of interest, and she has to tell someone, but she doesn't. And I don't really understand why not, and why the author has chosen to do that. I don't know. But anyway, you have these 4 people, and yet they've all been connected in the past. So like Jen's brother Bill has been connected to Claudia in the past, and Jen has been connected to Mark in the past, who's Claudia's husband, and they all knew each other when they were younger, teenagers, and all of that. So I don't really understand why there's a sort of weird mix-up, mash-up of relationships between these 4 people. And I don't know, there's just something about this story that I'm just not convinced by. I think because I've got to 100 pages and nothing has been revealed at all yet, we're still going around in the same circles with, you know, the fact that Jen obviously knows Claudia, that there's something that has happened between Claudia and Bill in the past, and maybe they've met up recently. Could it be Bill that's killed her? It's like this sort of thing. It's all a bit going around in circles. So overall, I'm not 100% sure about this yet. I'm not getting it, I don't think, which is a shame because I thought this would be quite a good thriller. It has like, it's a murky tale of tainted love and betrayal, a real up all night thriller. Those are the quotes on here. Beautifully claustrophobic. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to obviously persevere. I'm going to see how it is in like another 100 pages time. But yeah, I'm not loving this. It's definitely not going to be a 5-star read for me because obviously 100 pages in and I'm still not hooked, as it were. I'm not caring enough about the characters. I don't mind the main character, Jem. There's nothing that I dislike about her. But then at the same time, I'm just not rooting for her, as it were, because I kind of don't understand why she's not letting her boss know that she knows Claudia. And I know there's like some sort of weird motive behind that. And I don't know, there's just some things I'm just not getting with this book. But I'm gonna obviously persevere. We're gonna see if I get some more reading done. I'm gonna try reading some more now. And obviously when I finish at 6, I will know whether I'm going to my parents or not this evening. If I'm not, then I will get some more reading done this evening. But I just wanted to come on with a little update. It's not a positive update because I'm not loving the book, but it's not a bad book. It's just, there's some things about it that I'm just not getting. I'm just not gelling with. I'm just not finding interesting. So yeah, let's just carry on, see what starts happening when some of the plot twists occur and we start getting some of the information. It's the author's time to reveal. We'll see how it's done at that point. Hello, I have an Amazon parcel, which is a pre-order, so it's out today in paperback in the UK. So I thought I would just open it. Here, ta-da! So it is Hellbent by Lee Bardugo. So this is the second book in the series, the Ninth House series, which is set at Yale University. It's very much like a dark academia. Yeah, it was just a really good first book. I really enjoyed Ninth House. I think mainly because of the writing was stunning and the setting was superb, and I just absolutely loved that. So this obviously came out in hardback, well, last year, I believe. And because I had Ninth House in paperback, I wanted to wait until the paperback release. So it's out today in the UK. And this year I am going to try a bit more with reading more up-to-date books, like the books that come out like each month, having a list of books to pre-order, and then I'll have something to look forward to each month as well. So this is like the first one. This is the one in January that I desperately wanted to pre-order because, yeah, I just really wanted to get to it really. The writing is very small, I've just noticed. There's quite small writing in this book. Ooh, and it's quite a chunky one still. It's about 480 pages, but the writing's quite small. So it's going to be one of those, you know, bigger, longer reads. I'm looking forward to getting to it because like I said, I really did like Ninth House, and obviously it follows Alex, and I don't know if I could just, I don't know, there's like magic and I don't know, there's just a lot going on. It's very much a fantasy, but like almost like a dark academia as well, because like I said, it's set in Yale University, and I just absolutely loved the setting. And I was actually having a look online at Yale University, and I was like, oh my god, I would love to go to that university. God knows what I would do, like degree wise, but just because of how it looks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this very soon. I'm not 100% keen. I'm not that keen on the cover. I mean, I do have a baby bunny rabbit myself who is now 10 years of age. And I don't like how this rabbit looks. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the cover, but I'm a fan of the story, and I'm really looking forward to checking this out very soon. I just wanted to come on and do the unboxing as part of this reading vlog because it's literally just arrived and I ran straight down to the door to get it, and yeah, I'm just excited it's here. So yeah, just an unboxing. I will give like an reading update on my current read, which is I'm still reading Still Waters. I have about, I think, what am I on now? 337, like 80, I think. I don't know. I think I've got about 40 to 50 pages left. So I'm going to finish this now, and then I will come back on and give a reading update in a bit. Hello, I have a reading update because I have now finished Silent Waters by L.V. Matthews, so I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Okay, so this is a thriller. It's a bit like a usual crime fiction type of thing. There is a unique concept to this though, because we are seeing from the point of view of a police diver, which I think is superb. Now my final thoughts on this. It's quite difficult because let's just, yeah, let's try and get it all into my head. So there is a superb premise to this. I loved the idea of, obviously a police diver. I liked the fact that, it starts off where she has been sleepwalking and it's because she's stressed and she's thinking about things and all of that. And she then gets called out to do a dive, and she's looking for someone from her past who has gone missing, and she basically is the person out there diving looking for Claudia. Now this is where I start to, I don't know, not understand some of the characters' choices. So she chooses to not let on that she knows Claudia. And I don't see why she would do that, because she is completely aware that obviously it's a conflict of interest. She could just say, oh, I know her, so I can't search for her. It just seems a bit odd. And there's a lot of choices that she makes, not just her, but other characters make. And I'm not for it. I don't agree with a lot of the choices that the characters made. And it kind of made for a bit of a far-fetched storyline. And I kind of feel like the author has tried to do a lot of different plot twists and have a lot of plots running in line and trying to connect too many characters. So we kind of have this, issue that although it's a superb premise and it's a unique concept of following the point of view of a police diver, there's a lot of issues with the book, with the story, in my opinion. So, the characters choosing the most bizarre things, their choices are just bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. Not only that, but the first half of this book is really slow and nothing is really happening. You get snippets of things like something happening at a barn when they were teenagers and that causing their friendship to break away. But that goes on and on and on, and it's not until about page 250-ish that we start getting answers on that. And I don't know, it just seems really slow for a thriller. You want your thrillers to be fast-paced. I've said it before, this is slow. And the second half picks up pace. And to be honest, the second half it was absolutely fine in my opinion. It kind of was a lot more fast-paced. It was more like the thriller type of thing that you want to see. and there was plenty of plot twists and things like that. It was going well and everything like that. But also throughout, you'll be reading a chapter and suddenly it just changes timeline. And it's like talking about something that happened back when they were teenagers again, but there's no warning and it's not separate from the rest of the chapter. So you kind of have to stop and be like, hang on a minute, what are they talking about now? And it kind of gets a bit confusing, the chapters do, because of the way it's written. So the writing style is a bit, goes between timelines, but there's no warning for it to happen. She'll be stood somewhere, think about something, and then she's thinking about something that happened when she was a teenager, and it's as if we're seeing what happened then, but within the same, literally within the same paragraph as when we're watching her do something else in the now time. It just is a bit all over the place, in my opinion. I don't know, this could have been good. I've looked at the reviews, other reviews. I mean, the average rating for Silent Waters on Goodreads is 3.98. It's got some high reviews. So it might just be me, that I just could not gel with the writing and just some of the far-fetched stuff that was happening. It just didn't ring true. It didn't make a lot of sense, that kind of thing. I mean, it is a good book. You know, if you, I mean, I can't even say if you want a fast-paced thriller, because it's not fast-paced. The first half is not. The second half is good. It's a good read. I wanted to read on. I wanted to find out all of the answers. You know, figure it all out. So there's that. That's what I wanted in the second half. I was really keen. So, you know, it did pick up. There were some plot twists that I was like, oh, this is good. Yeah. So there is that with it. But I just kind of feel like there was a lot to this book that I didn't particularly enjoy or like as such. I'm giving it 3 stars because it's not a bad book by any means, but I do read a lot of thrillers. So I don't know whether it's because I'm reading it and thinking, Jesus Christ, that's you're not going to do that. You're not gonna, like, why would you lie about that? Why would you not just be honest about that? Like, it just, there's a lot of things where I was a bit like, why? And I also kind of feel like the author was trying to connect too many people. Did I say that? I can't remember if I said that. But like, there's too many connections, which I'm just like, it's probably not needed. You know, they all came from a small town, we get it, yeah, that's fine. But to be, you know, having Jen and her brother Bill, and Jen having something going on with Claudia's husband Mark, and Bill having something going on with Claudia, I kind of feel like it's all a bit too close, too weird, bizarre, all of that. We then have, like, there's a lot of things going on, like at one point, you know, we're finding out information about Mark, and I don't know, it kind of is a bit like there's too much in one story, I think. So yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars because the second half, it did pick up pace and I was intrigued. But yeah, it's a difficult one to talk about, this one. But what I'm going to do now is fill in my reading journal for this book. So I'm going to do that now. I'm then going to go, I'm going to get ready a bit more. I'm having a pajama day because it's been so cold, but the sun has come out now. So I'm going to get ready. I'm probably going to get a hot water bottle though because it's still a bit chilly. I'm probably still going to put this back on afterwards. And then, yeah, make a nice hot steaming cup of coffee to try and warm myself up. I'm going to start my next book, which is going to be, hang on a second, I'll just grab it. Oh dear. Here we go. Like that. I'm going to read The Ninth Grave by Stefan, is it Arnhem? This one I think is going to be good because it's a Scandinavian crime. And I'm all for it. in a very snowy, wintry setting. So this obviously is the prompt for a snowy winter setting. I'm just keen to read it. It's been on my TBR for ages. It's quite a large book. It's about 545 pages. I mean, how many is in this one? I'll go for the one that's got less. This one has, how many pages has this one got? 500. About 506. This one's a slight bit more. Oh, I don't know. Now I'm... Ooh, it's difficult to choose. Right, this one is in my 24 books of 2024, and it is something that's been on my TBR for the longest. But then this one, I'm very intrigued by it because it's witchy. Do you know what? I'm going to go for this one. I've chosen mine. I'm going for this one. I'm reading Witches of New York. I think that would be a great idea. Yeah, because it's one of the books I got for my birthday as well. One of the ones that Paul got me. Yeah, we're gonna go for this one. So I'm gonna go make a nice hot cup of coffee. Actually no, I'm gonna do my reading journal first. So make a hot cup of coffee and then I'm going to make a start on this. Okay, so I apologise for the lighting. It's not great. I know, it's freezing today as well in here. But I thought I'd quickly come on here because I've had a parcel arrive and I'm really excited for this. Oh, that wasn't a good start, was it? So I thought I would open it on here. Those, you can see little whiskers there, that is Jeff. I'm hoping he doesn't knock this off because it's so blue. Right, I'm just trying to get myself in this box. Not get myself in this box, you know what I mean. Okay, here it is. So it's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And this is it's the collector's edition, which is absolutely stunning. I hope you can see it very well in here. But it's absolutely stunning. So in February, I'm actually going to be reading this, and I'm actually going to be going to Jane Austen's house. So I'm going to be doing a vlog for it. So I need to get this before the start of February so I could include it in my TBR video. But I've never actually read this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving into it. It's not that long, it's about 330 pages. So that's nice. Anyone else do that? You know, sift the books. Yeah, so it's not a large book, and it's something that I've always wanted to read, and I thought it's perfect to read in February because it is a romance, it's a classic romance, and also because I don't live that far away from Jane Austen's house. There's her house and then the big manor house that her brother owned, which are like in the same village. That's not far from where I live. It's like the other side of Winchester. So basically I'm going to be reading this and doing a day out and vlogging it. So I'm looking forward to doing that, but that will be coming in February. But I just wanted to do the unboxing because it's just arrived in time for February. Okay, so I have a reading update. I'm sorry about the bad lighting. I'm sorry that I've got my hood up. It is cold. So our heating doesn't come on until 5 o'clock, so about 10 minutes time. So I have been wearing this all day, actually all this week. I've been wearing this over the top of my clothes, over the top of my pajamas, just, yeah, to stay warm, because it is a really good, like, warm thing to wear. It's actually from Oodie, O-O-D-I-E. Definitely recommend. This one's got cats on it. But I thought I was going to check them. So I've been reading The Witches of New York by Amy McKay today, and I've done quite a good chunk of it, to be fair. I'm on page 235 and there's like 500 pages. And obviously Winterween is ending tomorrow, so I want to get this finished tomorrow. I might get some reading done this evening because Paul's painting the ceiling. I will be making dinner, we'll have dinner together, and then I've got to go out to the shop to get some wrapping paper, and then I've got to wrap my sister's birthday presents, as it's her birthday today. And all of her presents have come, but I'm not seeing her until Saturday, because she's like moved away, but she's come back for the weekend. So we are seeing her on Saturday and going out for lunch and all of that. So she'll have her presents then, but I need to wrap them. So that's what I'm doing tonight. And after that, I'm hoping to read some more of this. So a little update. I am enjoying this, very much so. Okay, so we're following 3 witches. So we have Adelaide, is it Adelaide Tom and Eleanor St. Clair, and they became friends after an incident that occurred to Adelaide. And they've opened up this tea shop, but it's a tea shop where all of the ladies from New York can go to, and they can get like herbs and, you know, like herbal remedies. And there's even like a bit of witchcraft going on, because they're obviously witches, and they create these like little potions and things for the ladies of New York. And then one day she's about 17, 18, so she's called Beatrice, and she turns up at the tea shop, and they kind of realise that she is a witch and she's got some special powers. But she kind of has never believed in all of that sort of thing, and she doesn't understand how she's got these powers. So they basically take her under their wings. They allow her to work in the tea shop with them, and it's all about them trying to teach her how to use her powers. And do you know what? All 3 characters in this book I really like the main characters. There is a lot of characters in this book though, that's the only thing, and it does kind of go dual timeline, but just not obviously. It's not like it's a chapter in the past, chapter in the present. It's just all done within the one chapter. So it does take some getting used to, and it is a bit confusing because of that. But the writing is superb. I'm absolutely loving the writing. I'm loving the fact that this is set in the 1800s in New York as well. That's another just amazing thing. I like the fact that it's a tea shop that they've opened. I'm obviously loving all the witchy vibes because I always love a book that's got the witchy vibes, and yeah, it's just a very enjoyable book. So I am actually really loving it. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star read purely because, like I said, it is a bit complicated sometimes, going between past and present, and with the amount of like characters, it does make it a bit of a slow read, but I am enjoying it. I really am. I think the second half, I always get like this, like the first half can seem to be going really slow, and then I get into the second half of the book and then it just flies by. So maybe the second half is just going to be really fast paced and getting on with the story a bit. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. I am, which is good because I was hoping that I would, because it is a bit of a chunky book. It is 500 pages. And I'm reading it for a readathon, and I know that I'm not going to get to my other book in this readathon, but that's absolutely fine. But I'm hoping to finish this by tomorrow, obviously, so I can wrap it up tomorrow evening, this vlog. But I don't know, I am really enjoying it. It's just obviously a bit complicated in some parts of it. And I do apologise for that. I'm sat here with my hood up. You have no idea how cold it is. It is ridiculously cold right now. I did have a hot water bottle, but one of the cats basically stole that. So yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna read some more. I'm gonna read for like another 45 minutes, and then I'll make some dinner. We'll have some dinner. And like I said, I'm going to go shopping and wrap my sister's presents whilst Paul is painting the ceiling in the lounge for like the 5th time. That ceiling. So yeah, I will give you my thoughts on this. I'll do another like update tomorrow, regardless if I finish it or not. I will still do an update within this vlog. But yeah, I'm going to get back into the witchy world. It's magic, isn't it? Okay, so I have a reading update because I have just finished The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. This is the final day of Winterween, and so I'm really pleased that I actually managed to finish this because I wasn't sure, 100% sure if I was going to get this done in this readathon, so I'm glad about that. Okay, so this book, I have mentioned briefly what it's about, where it's basically 3 witches in 1880 New York. Now, the premise of this, I was like, yes, this is going to be right up my street. We've got 1880 New York, and we've got witches and a tea shop. So I was all for it. I was excited, all of that. And to be honest, you know, the story is good. You know, I like the premise of it. So we have Beatrice, who is this 17-year-old. She's only just recently found out that she has the ability to see and speak to ghosts. So when she takes the job at this tea shop with Adelaide and Eleanor, who are 2 witches running the tea shop, she kind of gets taken under their wing because they kind of realise that she has these powers. So we have Eleanor, who just wants to protect Beatrice, and then we have Adelaide, who wants to, you know, set up this business venture and use this to basically get more clients into the shop. So they decide to work with the Dr. Brody, and they want to basically allow Beatrice to talk to lost loved ones, so people could come in and she would just like relay messages back to these people from their loved ones who've passed away. So there is this really good premise behind it, and the characters are just so fleshed out and so beautifully written that you just have to like these 3 characters. You really do. And there's also a lot of feminist focus through here. So we are seeing what it was like for women in the 1800s. And it was not good if you were wanting to be independent, you wanted to voice your own opinions and thoughts. It was not good for you. I mean, you could, something very like innocent, and it got taken out of context and you would be classed as hysterical and put into a lunatic asylum. It was just horrendous. So I loved all like the historical fiction side of things. I loved seeing, you know, New York in 1800s. I loved seeing how like women were treated. Well, it's not like I loved, but you know, I loved seeing that. But I just enjoyed reading about it. There we go, that's a better way of putting it. And also there's a lot of supernatural elements in this because obviously Beatrice can speak to ghosts. So I loved all the supernatural side of things. You know, it's not a spoiler, Beatrice does disappear at one point in the story. And I feel like that kind of gave it a bit more of like an oomph, as it were, this made the story propel forward a bit more. So it has so many ways of being a fantastic read. Like there's so much in this book which is just absolutely brilliant. But it just cannot be a 5-star read for me because, you know, halfway through it kind of just lost its magic. Yeah. It lost its magic bit. It kind of just dawdled along. There were so many subplots and so many characters that weren't necessarily needed. It kind of just lost its way a bit. I kind of feel like if a lot of the subplots were taken out, if a few of the characters were taken out, and this was 300 pages instead of 500 pages, I think this could have been a 5-star read. I just kind of feel like there was a lot in the middle where it kind of just lost its way, and it was almost like there was no 100% definite way to go. You know, it was just all a bit, everything just thrown in there. Get as much information in as possible, have all these different subplots, these different storylines, trying to get the author's point of view on certain things across. But it kind of just lost its way a bit in the middle. And I just kind of felt like it was a bit of a lull to the story, which is quite upsetting really, because it had so much potential. It really did. Like the premise of it, you know, why wouldn't you want to read a story which is, you know, with all the witchcraft and all of that, like, and there were so many beautiful descriptions in this book as well, like the descriptions about autumn, because autumn is my favourite time of the year and I do miss it now that we are fully into winter. So yeah, all those sort of descriptions. There were so many descriptions in this book. My hair is now in its state. There were so many descriptions in this book that I absolutely loved. So yeah, it could have been a 5-star read if it didn't just go off on a tangent in the middle. The last 100 pages were really good though. So I've just read and really enjoyed that. Like I said, so much potential, but unfortunately it couldn't be a 5-star read. But yeah, I'm glad that I read it now. I really am. I'm glad that I read it. I think it would be perfect to read in October, to be honest. I do think I'm going to continue this series. I just wanted to see what happens next. Because obviously the ending is very much set up for a second book. So I don't know when this one came out, but I'm guessing that the second one's probably already out. Yeah, because obviously this was first published in 2016. So I don't know how many books there are to the series, but I had only recently seen about this book. Someone, I don't know if it was on YouTube or I can't remember, or on Instagram, but someone, and I don't even remember who, had said about this book back in October. So I'd put it on my wish list, and then Paul got it for me for my birthday in November. And I am glad that I read it. I think I'm going to look into how many books there are in the series and possibly getting a second book to read September, October time. That's a good shout, isn't it? Hopefully the second book isn't as long. Fingers crossed, we hope. But yeah, it was an enjoyable read. I would recommend it. Just be aware that it does go off on a little tangent halfway through. But yeah, it is what it is. But I just wanted to give you a reading update because that's another book that I can cross off on my Winterween readathon. Okay, so it's the end of Winterween. It actually ended yesterday, so we're now on Friday, the 12th. I finished about 4:30 yesterday. I didn't want to try and fit in another book. I wouldn't have been able to anyway, because I was painting the lounge last night, so there would have been no reading time. And also I wanted to come on and do a wrap up, and I just didn't get around to it last night. So it's now early morning. I've got my hoodie on. It's another one. I think I just basically live in these things, you know, during this time of year. I really do. But I want to wrap up the 3 books that I managed to read. So there was Belladonna, which was for the prompt with the purple cover. And there was so much to like about this book. The writing was superb and fantastic. It was beautiful writing. I absolutely loved the writing. And yeah, I loved the fact that we're following Signa, and she's at this, like, the setting is gorgeous because it's this massive manor house. Excuse me. And then obviously she gets approached by a spirit, which is the lady of the house who passed away, and she figures out that she was poisoned, and her cousin is likely going through the same thing and is currently being poisoned by Belladonna. And yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a mystery, but there is some supernatural elements to it, and it's very gothic. Everything is very gothic, and there's just so many beautiful quotes. Just the way it's describing things, like with the mist, it's got fog all around this house, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I gave it 4 stars because I'm unsure about the relationship between Signa and Death. So you start to see quite early on there's some weird thing going on between them, and she's kind of like aroused by him, and it just seems really bizarre because he says some weird things, like he first saw her when she was 2 months old and has been basically waiting around for her, and it's really bizarre. It's almost like a grooming type thing, because he's been appearing to her throughout her life, and I don't know, it's just, there's something very icky about it. Now, I don't know whether I'm just thinking too much into it. I don't know whether the author was actually, that's what she was actually, you know, trying to achieve. I don't know whether it's just me, like, because people are giving this 5 stars, and I mean, you look at Goodreads, there's not many people that are realising that, and it just seemed a bit odd, in my opinion. Just a very odd relationship blooming between Signa and Death. I mean, I love the fact that Death had its own character. I really do. I think that was, you know, unique. It was brilliant, and like I said, the writing was gorgeous. Like, there's so much to love about this book, but there's just something in me that's saying, is this a bit odd, or am I just thinking too much into this? But it just kind of feels a bit odd to me, this whole relationship with someone who has known her since she was 2 months old and has been coming back to her throughout her life, throughout her childhood, because he's been waiting for her to be 17. I'm like, that doesn't sit well with me, in my opinion. But, you know, maybe that's not what it's meant to be. I don't know, it's just something a bit odd around it. I gave it 4 stars because it is a fantastic book. You know, everything else about it's fantastic. And then I read Silent Waters, which was for the prompt with a W in the title. So this is a bit more of your thriller type thing. So this is following Jen, who is a police diver. Oh God, it completely went from my head then. So we're seeing from the perspective of a police diver, which I think's good because that's unique. We don't get that usually with our thrillers. We don't see much from like the police divers, and obviously they do have an important job, and they're never portrayed in books or things like that. So I loved that. And basically we first of all see that she's been sleepwalking and all of that jazz, which absolutely terrifies me. I hate the idea of sleepwalking. And then she, a few hours later, is called out on a job, and she is searching for a missing woman who's Claudia Franklin. And Claudia and Jen have this history which has gone back like a couple of decades. They they basically got a load of resentment, unspoken secrets. There's a lot going on between some characters. I kind of feel like there's a lot going on plot-wise as well. So I don't know whether the author has basically just done a lot of different subplots and a lot of connections through characters that probably was not necessary. I don't know. But it kind of just seemed a bit all over the place throughout. I don't know. It's really difficult because it's not a fast-paced thriller. And when you read a thriller, you want it to be fast-paced. But the first 100 pages or so is really slow. And you keep getting told about this barn. And there's like snippets of this barn and snippets of their past. And another thing that it does is that it kind of switches timelines with no warning. So you'll be reading a paragraph and it's in present day, and then it suddenly switches back to when they were kids and hanging out in the river. And there's no warning for it. It just does it. And so you have to like follow it really carefully to know what the hell is going on. I kind of feel like there was a lot of promise with this. Like the idea behind it, there was a unique concept with a police diver, and it was a good premise for it. I just don't think it was executed well. I kind of feel like the writing style made it quite confusing, and it wasn't a fast-paced thriller, and you want a fast-paced when it comes to thrillers. If it's not fast-paced, then it needs to be beautifully written. You need some beautiful descriptions, and obviously this book didn't have either of those, so it just wasn't great for me. I gave it 3 stars though, because it's still a good book in a way. I was still invested and wanted to know how those secrets were, what happened in the barn, and all of that, because yeah, I wanted to know. So I did persevere and continue and finish it, and I gave it 3 stars. But yeah, it's one of those books which I kind of think I was expecting a bit more from. And then lastly, I read The Witches of New York by Amy McKay, and this is following Adelaide and Eleanor, who are 2 witches who decide to open up a tea shop. And then they have a Beatrice that comes along, starts to work with them. She's 17, and they start to realise that she has some powers. She's able to see and speak to ghosts. And so Adelaide is like, great, this is brilliant for business. And they decide to start working with this Dr. Brody, who's like this scientist who's kind of trying to work out ghosts and whether they're real or not, and all of this malarkey. So they start working with him, so that Beatrice could start, helping people to communicate with their lost loved ones. And like the writing is superb. I absolutely loved the writing. I absolutely loved the characters. Especially the 3 main characters. I really liked them, and I think the author does an amazing job at character description in this book. The only thing is that about halfway through it kind of just lost its way, and
was a lot of waffle. I kind of feel like this could have been like 300 pages instead of 500 pages if there was a lot of the subplots taken out and a few of the characters that were taken out. I don't think they were needed. And then I think this would have been a 5-star read for me. I've given it 4 because, yeah, in the middle it kind of just lost a bit of magic, as it were, in the middle. So yeah, it was still an enjoyable experience. It's quite a chunky book. It's 500 pages, but I did enjoy it. But like I said, there was just a bit in the middle where I was like, wow, this is dragging now. What is this stuff? So yeah, those are the 3 books that I read. So I've got 2 4-stars and 1 3-star read. I am really impressed with the fact that I managed to read those 3 books this week. I think it was like a 7-day readathon. And I managed to read 3 books. I'm obviously working and also doing DIY. So I've been having to just read when I can and just hoping that I could get some books read for this readathon. But I managed it and I'm really proud of myself for doing it. And I really enjoyed taking part in Winterween. If you want to see, you know, what it's all about, then check out GabbyReads on YouTube. I would definitely 100% recommend her channel anyway. And I really enjoyed Winterween. I think I'm going to try and join in with Summerween, which I think is either June or July. So I'm really excited for that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap this up. This was a bit of a waffly type of last bit of the video, isn't it? I do apologise. It's very early. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll be back soon with another video.